Healthy Living is presented by Northwell. Northwell has more top doctors than any health system in America.
Ben?
Yep.
A new term has entered our lexicon, Ozempic babies, a surprise pregnancy after taking GLP-1 weight loss medications. But are these drugs really boosting fertility, or is something else going on?
Good question. Here to separate fact from fiction is board-certified reproductive endocrinologist and author of The Lucky Egg, Dr. Lucky Sekhon. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Always love having you.
So smart.
Wealth of knowledge.
Way smarter than we are. Okay, what is happening? What is the rise of this new term, Ozempic baby?
So Ozempic is one of many forms of GLP-1 agonist medications. 1 in 8 adults in the U.S. have used them or are currently using these drugs for weight loss. And we are seeing a rise in people regaining their fertility, so to speak, after starting these medications. It is specific to a certain subset of women, those who are overweight or obese and have metabolic dysfunction that can cause them to ovulate irregularly. And I always say, as a fertility doctor, if you don't know when you're ovulating or you're not ovulating at all, you're not in the game when it comes to getting pregnant.
That part. Okay.
There's a relation between polycystic ovary syndrome or GLP-1s and fertility.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. So PCOS has now been renamed to PMOS to really emphasize that there is a metabolic component to this common gynecologic condition that affects 10% of women. It usually manifests as irregularity in ovulation, but 70 to 80% of these women will be resistant to insulin. This is how your body stores blood sugar. And when you lose weight, you naturally become more sensitive to insulin, and it helps to really balance your hormones and get you ovulating again.
Okay, so could GLP-1 medication actually help someone avoid fertility treatment or IVF?
If their underlying cause of infertility is stemming from irregularity in ovulation, also it's important to note that when you're resistant to the effects of insulin, your body makes more, and it actually causes hormonal disturbances at the level of your ovaries. So if you correct all of that, you're really balancing your hormones and you're creating a healthier environment for pregnancy to take root.
Okay.
Let's talk about the biological clock for a second.
Oh,
yes.
Because mine is ticking.
Okay, Marissa, tell me.
Ticking like this. When you lose a lot of weight, does that kind of adjust your biological, does that have any effect on your biological clock?
Unfortunately, no. I think a lot of people are talking about GLP-1s like they are the fountain of youth. And while restoring normal metabolic function can help generally with your health and a lot of chronic diseases that are typically more common as we age, it's not reversing your biological clock. So age is still very much an influence on egg quality, but we know that for a significant proportion of the population who are struggling with being overweight or obese, if they're correcting that underlying issue, it may help make them more fertile.
Okay, so if someone is trying to conceive, when should they stop taking a GLP-1 medication?
So this is the tricky catch-22 because it can indirectly improve fertility, but you shouldn't really be on it if you're intending to get pregnant. We don't have the human safety data really needed in order to say it's safe to continue taking them. So ideally, you should be off of these drugs 2 months pre-conception.
Okay.
So what are the biggest misconceptions when it comes to GLP-1s and medications and fertility and things like that?
I think number one is people automatically assume because more and more people are getting pregnant, it is safe to continue. We've already kind of talked about that. It doesn't necessarily address all the different causes of infertility, so it's not going to help you avoid needing fertility treatment if there's a low sperm count or if the tubes are blocked. But if you have this metabolic imbalance, that's the issue that it's specifically addressing. And I think a big one that people aren't aware of is that it can reduce the efficacy of oral birth control pills, especially in the first month after starting it or after any dose increases. So definitely talk to your doctor about maybe getting on a different form of birth control or having a backup method during those key times.
Incredible conversation, very topical, very informative. Thank you so much. Always
Thank
great
you.
to see you. Make sure you pick a copy of The Lucky Egg wherever books are sold.
That's right.